Take a look at the lightning, the rain, and thunder rushing over Champaign-Urbana less than an hour ago. And Catlin, nickel and quarter-sized hail. Right now, Fox Champaign's Doug Quick says this storm is moving southeast and should pass soon. He's live in Hubson with clearer skies at the National Sweet Corn Festival. Doug, this weather is crazy. A man has been arrested for the shooting at a North Neal Street gas station. That's tonight's top story. 34-year-old Jason Eatman was arrested Saturday and charged with attempted first-degree murder and aggravated battery with a firearm. You see him there on your screen. That's right, Angelica. Over 150 people, public officials, and residents are out here right now for one winter night showing their support for the homeless. I'm going to step out of the shot so you can see what's happening here. Now, one winter night was created by a local charity, See You at Home. They will sleep outside until 6 a.m. tomorrow. So tonight we are under a dense fog advisory. It's in effect until 10 p.m. tonight, but more heavy fog could be on the way. The snow has stopped falling, but it's not going away, folks. It's very deceiving here. During some of this intense training, they will have to rescue victims inside of these buildings that are set on fire. This one is pretty heavy. I can't pick it up. 185 pounds is the approximate weight. Now imagine doing that in a burning building with smoke everywhere and you can barely see. In other news, this technology could be the new way hospitals monitor brain traumatic injuries in the future, and it's smaller than my thumbprint. Welcome back. You know, Doug said a bad word earlier. You said snow.
Snow, yeah.
Denton, Texas police are on high alert after two churches received 2 bomb threats in 2 days. Right now, you can hear them right in front of me, right in front of the Champaign Police Department, and they are coming together with one message. Joining us now is Patricia Avery with the NAACP Champaign County. And Patricia, tell us, what is the message? Secretary of State John Kerry is in Moscow, where he's meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss the conflict in Syria. Earlier, Kerry met with the foreign minister. Washington wants the Kremlin to help push for peace. Welcome back. Tonight kicks off the Champaign County Fair. Fox Champaign's Doug Quick joins us live from the fairgrounds. I need funnel cake, Doug. What can everyone else expect this year? Every time there's any kind of a holiday that happens, the pressure is on for our weatherman meteorologist to say, is it going to snow? Is it going to rain? Good weather? The pressure's all on him right now.
Yeah.
There is a new state law for all law enforcement, the Police and Community Relations Improvement Act. That requires all police officers to hand out this, a stop receipt. It's a new way to track interaction between police officers and pedestrians. If a police officer searches or frisks you, a new state law requires that you also get this. It's called a stop receipt. It tracks the reason for the stop, officer's name, and badge number. University of Illinois student Akia Naraku likes the new law.
It's really important to have these receipts because then it kind of like helps with accountability, and then people don't just get stuff for no reason at all.
Jeff Christensen, University of Illinois police chief, says this new law builds upon the Illinois Department of Transportation report that showed some racial disparities in police traffic stops. This new data from the stop receipts will be sent to IDOT too.
It's helpful because, much like the traffic stop study, it will give some data as to demographically who's being stopped and for what reasons.
It's a new process that Christensen says is a good opportunity for police and community relations.
In this instance, where they're issued a receipt, they'll know for sure why they were stopped.
You will not get a stop receipt if an officer questions you, if you are having a casual conversation, or if you're not searched or frisked. The new law also covers officers involved with death investigations, prohibited use of force by a police officer, body cameras, and police training. Now, for over 30 days, residents in and around Watseka have been dealing with flooding as bodies of water overflow from the Iroquois River and Sugar Creek into their homes. For one family, the nightmare started 2 weeks ago, and it has not ended.
Basically, just salvage what we can, what's left of the house and our possessions, and we have to find another place.
This family has lost everything to flooding. All they have are pictures on a phone.
This is all we have left is our furniture. It's gone.
There's just things floating everywhere.
This is their neighborhood. Now it looks more like a lake. Sharon and over a dozen other families will live here at Trinity Church and get help from the Red Cross. In other neighborhoods, more of the same. I'm standing in the middle of Walnut Street. This is about 6 inches of water, and this water is coming from the flooding, of course, but the residents here say that this water is not receding. It's coming. They're getting more and more, hour by hour.
Flooding started a handful of weeks ago. As everybody knows, throughout the month of June, Illinois was just inundated with rain, especially Iroquois County. We've seen a lot of rain, especially in the northern portions.
The water is coming from the Iroquois River and Sugar Creek and overflowing into the low-lying areas of Watsika.
Also, flooding in creeks and rivers makes it hard for towns to drain. Tiles get filled up with water, and then water has nowhere to drain. So we've had some of those problems.
Some residents say it hasn't been this bad since 2008. And despite more rain in the forecast, some are optimistic.
I don't know, life's always a series of unfortunate events, but I mean, you just got to have faith. God's good no matter what, You can get mad and throw a fit if you want to, but it ain't going to change anything, So you just sit and smile with what you got to smile about.
Residents have a curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Folks, if you know someone in the area that needs assistance, contact the Red Cross or Trinity Church at 815-432-4070. Thursday night, we told you about documents that were released by the city of Champaign that included several internal investigations, citizen complaints, and pending litigation involving Officer Matt Rush. This officer was fired, then after arbitration, allowed back to work. Now a second lawsuit involving Rush could be settled as soon as next week for $225,000. That is tonight's top story. What you're about to see is dash cam video from a Champaign police patrol car when Benjamin Mann was arrested on March 16, 2014. Mann later filed a lawsuit against the city, Officer Matt Rush, and 6 other officers. Mann alleges that while arrested, a Champaign police officer used excessive force against him and that other police officers did not act to prevent such use of force. The city and officers disputed the allegations. Since then, both parties have agreed to settle the lawsuit. Now, Champaign City Council will have to accept the proposed settlement for $225,000.
The case has been going on for a bit of time, so there's been discovery done and other processes that have happened in the case. As with all cases that are filed, we explore whether there's an opportunity to settle it on terms that we think are reasonable.
The proposed settlement would release all claims against the city and police, but does not admit to any liability in the disputed claim. Meanwhile, the third lawsuit that involves Officer Rush is still in litigation. We reached out to the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council. Here's a part of what David Wister, executive director for the organization, said about Officer Rush. Quote, Officer Rush had the legal right to have his case reviewed by an independent arbitrator who heard all of the evidence and made a ruling that was accepted by both parties. Officer Rush served his suspension and has not had a complaint against him since returning to work in the spring. We should all move forward and allow Officer Rush to continue serving the public in a job that he loves, end quote. Sick, disgusted and angry are the feelings of some community and church leaders. Meanwhile, tonight, after seeing dash cam video of Champaign police officer Matt Rush in at least one of 3 videos linked to complaints that have lawsuits against him and in some cases others. Patricia Avery with the Champaign County NAACP and community leader Sundiata Kaita Choja, with the support of others, said that based on the complaints against Officer Matt Rush, that the community, they want him to resign. They're also asking State's Attorney Julia Reitz to charge Rush with assault and battery and arrest him immediately because no community is safe.
The community is not safe, not just the black community, the white community, any community. He should not be on the streets as an officer of the law.
So people are on pins and needles that if he continues to serve, that it could end badly for one of our citizens, that it could be fatal. And that is why we are calling upon him to do the moral and the right thing by resigning, because once you lose the public's trust, it is very difficult, I think, in order for you to uphold your duties.
The group says they plan to release a more comprehensive report from the community to City Council at a later time, and they want a civilian review board to be created. This is one job you might pass on: harvesting honey.
When a bee goes out, they're either collecting pollen or they're collecting nectar.
Meet Rachel Coventry. She harvests honey for her family business, and today she's showing us how she does it. First, she starts with a small fire in a canister.
You want a nice, cool smoke, and you can feel it's really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And this is all to create smoke.
Just create smoke, which helps to mask the pheromones that the bees give off when they're frightened.
Now we suit up, covered top to bottom in a white suit, gloves, and of course a hat covered in net. We begin after spreading smoke around the hive to keep the bees calm.
Then we're going to pop the lid open. Usually we just want to put it right in here.
Okay.
Inside, hundreds of thousands of bees, among them workers, all females, drones, all males, and the queen bee. And on the honeycomb, look closely. This is capped honey. That's what you and I eat. And then there's broods. This is where the larva grows to become new bees.
After I get the bees off of it, I take the whole box and I take it back into the shop where we have a centrifuge.
Then it ends up here.
On the edge like that.
Okay.
And then you'll close it and you'll turn it on and it just spins. It collects in the bottom and then you have a tap down here. And then we have a strainer that we strain it through. Then we bottle it. That's the last step.